Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla, and welcome to my stream Ancient Gaming, where I play video games with ancient studies content and talk about it. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome so much if you are new. And especially welcome those of you who were watching along with my summer streams over on the Save Ancient Studies Alliance channel. Today we're going to be playing The Pathless, which is by the same studio, Giant Squid, who made Abzu, and who went on to make... there's a brand new one with a sword. I can't remember the name right now, but I was watching our friend Adam over on Ludo History, who, if you don't watch him, absolutely recommend, play that and... discovered that this existed. I had actually missed it entirely, so I figured we would come and have an experience together. I know that before my summer break, we were playing Okami for a while and talking about Japanese mythology and history. I felt like we had done quite a lot of that and taken a big enough break that I wanted to do something else. If you're enthusiastic about it, let me know and I'll come back to it. But for now, we're going to play Pathless, and then I think starting next week with a break the week after is actually how this works. We're going to be trying out Hades 2 just after the official release date. And my partner Tortoise, if you remember, he played Heaven's Vault with us. He'll be doing the gameplay because I don't really roguelike. And we'll talk a lot about Greek mythology. But for now, let's see what the Pathless has in store for us. Oh, and if you are new here, just a brief introduction to me. I have 2 higher degrees in studies of the ancient world, Greek and Roman language and history, and I have been doing archaeo gaming as my primary entree into the ancient world for, gosh, like 5 years now. And I used to work with an organization called the Save Ancient Studies Alliance. I'll actually be on one of their panels in October. So, you know, that's me. And I also do a number of other things over on my YouTube channel, where I also put all of the recordings of all of my archaeo gaming streams on this channel. So if you are looking to go see me play through something like Okami or The Forgotten City, which is what started this all, you can check that out on my YouTube channel, which is listed down at the bottom of the frame, Zilla's Athenaeum. Or check me out on any of my other socials. I do exist on Blue Sky and Mastodon, and of course, Patreon, if you're so inclined. Let's get started. So just from that opening screen, we have this image of... Ooh, a dark curse shrouds the world. We have this image of some kind of bird or bird snake. It looked a little bit Mayan, maybe? Legends say the curse spread. Many have gone to the isle to stop the curse. None have returned, and the darkness grows stronger. So this is positioning us as the last hunter. We make the journey to reclaim the light that has been stolen from the world. Well, that's beautiful and ominous. That's sort of the image we see on the cover. That floating, terrifying island over an island. Some amount of structure on the ground, so there's some ruins here. And a little one-person, it looks like a powered boat. It's an outboard motor, so it's unclear exactly how much tech we have here. This design is very East Asian with the bands of color. But we do have what appears to be a longbow rather than a horse bow, which would be more what you would expect from, for instance, a Chinese or Mongolian. But look at that hairstyle. That says to me Mongolia. I don't know why. With the face mask. Veil. Veil is the word I want. So We do have this longbow. Um, that is a very long bow. That looks like an English longbow, honestly. Which, those things you have to work up over many years to be able to draw them. Um, like a regular sized bow and arrow, you can start as low as like 25, 30 pound draw. I think at my max I was up at like a 100 pound draw. Wonder if any of the buttons do anything. Okay, we got a jump. We got a center. Okay, so some basics. So we've got a ruin here. Some kind of bird head with a crooked beak, almost like teeth. So very stylized. There are not real birds that have that. These big monolithic structures with heads on top. Almost like a Greek herm, which is a pillar with a head of Hermes on the top. Although these are, for obvious reasons, missing the Hermoi's most important feature, the phallus. Those were border markers, and this also looks like a gate or a boundary marker. Wonder if there's anything else for us to see around here. I think we gotta go in. Oh, we can swim. Let's swim around. There's an invisible wall. Okay. There's stuff up there. Wonder how we get over there. Probably find out later. We jumped very high. Okay. There are some white birds circling here, so these... Oh, and look, there are those bird herms all around this corner of the island. Looking up, we can see some more structures. Like, that appears to be a man-made dam. That's not a natural feature. It looks like there are faces underneath the walkways that are coming out from it. Don't know what that's about yet. You have a very tall tower structure there. With a columnar bridge lined by a sort of series of archways, maybe just joined columns. Kind of hard to tell from here. One thing about these herm-like structures is that they do look like they are just carved basically out of this local rock in one piece, right? Like, there's no seams on them. There's something there. Okay, so shooting is a thing we can do. I don't know what I was shooting. So we have these little diamond flags, and they are tattered like they've been here a long time. So, there is a run. Move very quickly. What exactly are we shooting, though? What are these things? They're eyes. So they fill our run meter. I don't know why we need that. Okay. So we've got some buttressing here on this cliff. It doesn't look like there are ruins of a matching set on the other side, so they probably were always intended. Yeah, they look finished. So they're flying buttresses, is what they are. They may be assisting the wall to stay there, but more likely they're decorative. You see that they are intricately carved and joined. They have a brick bottom of a sort. I think we can see the... Oh no, this is a different kind of column. Oh! Well, hello, bird with an unlikely toothy beak. You look like a phoenix. Or something. A rock? It's got nictating membranes over its eyes. Very unusual bird. You can see everything here is sort of built in its image. Okay, so we take these bird heads into ourself, and they open doors. Don't know what that's about. I was still talking about the flying buttresses, and I'm not even sure which direction they were in. But these columnar arches actually look to be built about the same. So they have this brick base, well-joined stones, and then up at the top we've got... Can't quite see what that darker material is, but they're clearly two different stones. They're made in interesting shapes. We've got patterns of light and dark, and at the top, a decorative series of, so this kind of stonework isn't casual, right? This is very much something that was meant to be seen, that was meant to be walked through. And this leads us up to that tower. So the phoenix is wounded and blocking our way to that tower. So it would be fairly natural, given all of the distinctly phoenix... I'm just calling it a phoenix. Hi Samantha, how you doing? It would be very natural, given all of these phoenix heads on everything, the phoenix statues, to decide that the phoenix was worshipped in this community, especially with this example in front of us. I mean, look at this glorious bird. There's something just magical about it. Its feathers, its colors, even its existence, its enormity, and those nictating membranes over its eyes. It feels supernatural. And it's definitely a symbol of this society that it chose for itself. But we can't really say yet what kind of symbol. Is it, like the national bird? Or is it a god? Right? I'm not doing too bad. I am, this is a day for bacon cupcakes and playing video games. And that's what I am gonna do. I am not yet out of cupcakes. So we have a lot of freedom in this environment to explore. I could go faster, but I don't even want to. I just kind of want to see what's here. Is this the path we came up? Yes, this is the path we came up. Alright. So we have these much smaller columns away from the... This is probably what that dark material is, right? At the top of the columns. And we see not just cross patterns and diamond patterns, but also more intricate carving, still very geometric, and also sort of a Greek wave. So we have... Shut up. What do we have over here? We have another a view over the path we were just in. We can go into these holes in the bird herms. making my own language for this game. Um, so I was gonna say, the phoenix is a myth of ancient Greece, and the rock is a myth of the ancient Near East, or slightly less ancient. The rock being the phoenix being a bird that rebirths itself in fire, and the rock being a bird that is enormous and multicolored. Also, sometimes known as the simmer. Whether or not those are the same thing, There's also a phoenix, of course, in Chinese and Japanese mythology, which is again a sort of firebird, and a parallel to the dragon. All right, so it could be coming from anywhere, but this outfit really just says East Asia to me, and particularly Northeast Asia, with its its layers of wrappings, bound against wind, ready to move, ready to ride. Like, look at those boots; those are riding boots. We don't have a mount in this game, or I don't know if we will have a mount, but we certainly don't right now. So these are our first humanoid statues that we're seeing, unless you count the bird herms, which I'm not sure that I would. They clearly are, they're humanoid. They have 2 feet, 2 arms. Their garb is much more covered than ours, even. They have a sort of a draping hat. What this represents exactly in this culture, unknown. We don't have enough information. We are a hunter. We're ready for action, for riding, for running, for shooting. Goodness knows how we're drawing that bow that fast. But, these look more like scholarly or priest robes to me, or something that is meant to protect in a dangerous environment, like a sandstorm. But this does not seem like a likely place for a sandstorm, so I'm guessing scholar or priest, just from context. If you look at those hats, the sort of square top, that is oh. Hello, little glitch. Very nice flowers. What a nice idle animation. The square-topped hats kind of resemble those like scholar box hats you see in ancient China. Here we get our first hint of color. Everything up until now has been various shades of gray and black. We have some textile here, these red banners. Red being a color of luck and life in particularly Chinese symbology. But who knows? I mean, one of the things about these games that Adam over at Ludo History was pointing out was that they take from a lot of different cultures all over the world and kind of mash it together so that you're not stuck in any one frame of symbology except the game itself. So we have a third color of stone here. We have the gray. We have this painted. This is a faded red paint with the circles. And these are the first circles we've seen, right? Because even the wave shapes before were angular. But this red probably was closer to the banner red before. And then we have this white stone. That's new, and you can see the more angular carvings in them. So this is where the wall came down when we talked to the phoenix. Oh boy! There appears to have been a lot of death here. That's not a huge surprise, given the opening, but I want us to take a look at what this decor says about this pathway, right? So these are not just a pile of skulls, but skulls kind of melded into a sculpture on the wall, right? You can see that join work. That's not bone, that's some kind of plaster or glue. So these are very intentionally put here. And that doesn't necessarily mean something evil. That could be a way of honoring the dead. After all, you see here these almost offering-like bowls and sacks of possibly grain or who knows. So, while this is definitely a place of death, it might be closer to a mausoleum than a killing field. And we transfer here from carved, worked human stone to natural cave very quickly. So they took an existing cave and made it into a sort of sacred mausoleum. But there are full dead humans here, and you have to be very careful when you come across human remains, right? Because, you know, these were people. These weren't just, objects. They had lives. And how we find them tells us a lot about them, and you don't want to, just stick them in a museum, right? Because they were people. they're not, toys. They're not artifacts. They're humans. So the skulls here lack offerings, but there are people who died here. Maybe they don't lack offerings. Maybe the offerings are just down here. Oh. So here we find that just kind of... Oh, hello. That's not anything I expected. Apparently we have... So those eyes that we were shooting, this is the same pattern. And we have found a... So, we can look around. Secrets and landmarks, it says. Anyway, so we've found not just a place of the dead in general, but a mausoleum for this particular individual who appears to have been buried with quite a lot of grave goods. They have the special mask, which we have taken from them, which I'm not super sanguine about. But they also have a golden headdress on top of one of those boxy hats that has the symbol of the vertical eye that is the thing we've been shooting, those things that are just like boo. And I don't... So the eye symbol is not something I was expecting to be a positive. It can represent a third eye, like in the way of opening one's spiritual awareness. That language kind of comes out of Indic traditions, out of the Vedic, we'll call it, traditions, right? Opening your third eye, becoming aware of the spiritual and the divine. So this person appears to have been some amount of leader, whether they were priest, scholar, magician, president. We don't know. But someone honored in this way in this place of death, preserved with these grave goods. And it looks like, honestly, it looks like they were also tended after their death. If you look how tightly those bracelets are wrapped, it looks like those were put on after some amount of desiccation, although the body is not entirely bones, right? Because you can't see the arm and finger bones at all. they're shrunken for sure, but um, but the arms are still covered in skin. Um, so that is interesting. The the cloth that they're buried in is, it's hard to tell if that's a bleaching from sunlight or those or the moths, honestly, or if that's an like dirt that has fallen in through the top, or other discoloration, possibly even intentional coloration. You can tell a bit about the textile, as this is actually pretty intricate on the edges, right? It's not like the banner, which is just a straight shot. This has cables in it, right? This looks knitted. And so here we have the symbol of that figure again, but this time it's the one with the third eye. So this is, I think, implied to be not magic, but tech. If you, well, I mean, the difference is kind of minimal in games like this. What's interesting to me is that that figure was clearly, buried there and tended after death, and grave offerings made, and all of these skulls and offerings. But these people who died around it, like if they were all sitting, I would say maybe that they had, sacrificed themselves. But many of them are sprawled as if they were doing something when they died. And so that suggests a much more calamitous death than anyone else in this area. So you can learn a little bit about what's going on from that. So here we have some writing. I expect to get interrupted again. And these look like mechanical devices of some type. Can I interact with you in any way? So this appears to be writing. The spirit mask grants the wearer the ability to see the cracks in the world, find paths where there would be none, but heed caution. Those who wear the mask never see the world the same way again. Well, that's fine. So, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're clearly emitting some kind of radiation. It clearly has something to do with the mask. Oh, we're now getting a much closer view of the garment. I can see a little of why I was thinking, riding clothes. We have these panels of, that's probably fabric armor, felted armor. It's light armor. Obviously, we're an archer, and our specialty appears to be dashing, so that's not too surprising. But that's what those panels around the skirt are. We've got, if you can see, the left, the right hand rather has the draw fingers for the bow are encased in the glove, and the rest of the fingers are open. So that's an arm guard and a finger guard for shooting. And that's why it's only on the one hand. Although it's interesting, you would expect there to be an arm guard actually on the other hand for if the bowstring catches you in the wrist. But that's not too unusual with an experienced archer, might not bother with it. You can see this little roll of fabric at her back. That I'm not too sure about. I wonder if that's meant to be sort of a like blanket or pillow, something to make it easier to sleep on the road or the sea. So those things are far away. And whatever they are, they have almost a Roman double eagle about them. Clearly we are meant to walk through here. Ah, and if you don't have the mask, it's just solid. It does have this pattern on it to show you, I guess, that you can get through it. So I meant to go sprinting around, I suppose. But why? So I'm up on... Is this the same level? Or... Oh no, now I'm slightly above the plateau with the Phoenix. Okay. Now I found something interesting. They want me to sprint around and I'm like, no. So here's that image from the beginning, right? It's clearly meant to be that Phoenix again. It's a little bit more elongated. It almost looks like it has an arm. And so that geometric wave pattern that I was seeing might actually be meant to be a bird foot. So these hovering eyes are actually helpful. Oh no, that's not the bird's foot. That's the top of its wings. Oh goodness, that's very stylized. That's not a style I've really seen before, actually. So. So I guess... These guys. What do you mean? Okay. Interesting. I don't know what that does. I don't know what I'm looking for it to do. Oh, there is a figure. Much more recently dead. I don't know why this place is on fire, but it does appear to be collecting the light through some kind of fire. The Eagle Mother and the Godslayer. So the Godslayer is apparently who trashed this civilization. The Eagle Mother is what I've been calling the Phoenix. We can see that this person is dressed almost identically to the statues, right? And also it's pretty close to identical with the figure that we saw in the grave. Although it has more clothing on it. It's just the same thing again. It's okay. But here we have metal, which we have not seen before in this society. So like just want to point that out, that the columns now we have shiny metal interspersed with the white stone. And then or maybe it's the gray stone. It's kind of hard to tell with this. Maybe the thing that I was thinking was black stone is metal. It's kind of hard to tell. Could be vice versa. So this appears to be something bad, but I don't know. I guess I can walk into it. so if I put the eagle mother's symbol or whatever into it, I destroy the fire. And light comes back. Interesting. Okay, so I guess that's our goal. I guess that's how this works. But we do have, at very least, some golden metal here, right? This is a very different artifact than anything else that we've seen so far. Smooth whiteness that almost looks plastic. Surrounded by gold. And the fire clearly wasn't heating anything, because A, we could walk through it, and B, certainly we would see signs of it on this artifact. Whatever this is, it's apparently holding... Do you still say the same thing? Okay. So that was... So, one question, of course, is why am I from somewhere else in the world equipped and designed to utilize these floating eyes in this way? Okay, so I can hop long distances if I use that. Okay, so another of these people from... Godslayer is no longer a man if he ever was. He's something more and something less. Okay, so that's good to know. Godslayer used to be a person. We don't really know much about him. What's this? So this was holding one of these eagle symbols. We've got sort of red tassel work. Again, a very East Asian sort of monument marker. And the sort of shell or wave pattern carved up there. But why? So this almost reminds me, if you've ever played like Phoenix Rising, there are these challenges where you have to stand in a particular place and shoot a particular thing. It kind of reminds me of that. But what was this designed for? Because clearly this was intentionally designed by the people who lived here, but then sealed off by that fire. Got another of these. Insert eagle symbol. Again. So that appears to be our gameplay, but why? The stele. So stele, of course, this large plinth with or stone column with written words on it that is a stele. So we use that word a lot. It's a Greek word for like an inscription panel or a gravestone or something like that. So we see this a lot in games like a written history. Like if you played Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, you see these in Zora's Domain a lot. Um, so So this implies that the God Slayer was not only a person, but that there were people in this civilization, people using this power since the God Slayer started his work. Whatever that was. Okay. So we get some more words about the Eagle Mother. These symbols are probably not interpretable. Just looking at them, they look a lot like the symbols in Journey, right, or in Abzu, named by a lot of the same people. They also kind of resemble the Zonai glyphs in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, they look like they are most likely some kind of glyphic writing, ideograms, that's the word I want, but sufficiently abstracted that we couldn't pull meaning from them. But the other thing is that, like, even if they were an alphabet of some kind, the way that they are block printed like this is very, very hard to interpret if you don't have some kind of context for it. So I am guessing, but as an educated guess, the designers did not actually make a language here, or a particular writing system, but these glyphs will be the same, or maybe scrambled on every stele we encounter. Which is a shame, you know, I always like it when there are languages, but... So we have some more eagle faces here. Or eagle statues, rather. What are they leading to? There's a lot of space here. Could be anything. Found some more herms. Here we are. We're not high enough to see over the dam, but we are over where we came in. So this is the beach where we came in. Can't see our boat. Oh, there it is. There's our boat. A little powered boat. So this is the raised platform, the sheltered area. You can see it used to have full archways all around it. Where the eagle was kept. Okay, so the double eagles are at the top of these towers. Oh, and this is a much bigger eagle with the plinth at its base. Interesting. I wonder if we can get up there, but we can. Ah, I lost it. Well, I'm not sure I need it. Maybe I can just walk up there. What's this? We found a secret, I guess. This is much bigger and more detailed in a certain way, but also very abstract still as a sculpture, right? Like we have the suggestion of big rough feathers here in a way that we don't on the smaller statues. Well, maybe we do. So these are basically the same then. Just a matter of scale. So it is true that there is no path. Although... looks like... What's this? What is this? Okay, so this is very, very different. This is mechanical. That might be metal or stone, but it's got a surviving rope winch system. And there's this operator who clearly died suddenly, and he is not wearing the ceremonial robes and mask. And in fact, there is another down here. But why? Why do I want to be here? This is a very strange place. I don't think we need it. We could just ride the rope winch back up. It's an automated procedure. Arrows are not entirely magic. We can't just shoot through things. Well, hello. A double stele. The eagle mother laid 5 eggs, and the eggs hatched thusly, first the gentle elk, then the lizard, then the snake, then the bear. She watches over the realms of her children. She repays kindness with kindness. Eagle mother first arrived in this world, there was only the water. She searched for a place to retch, and a branch stretched out from beneath the endless sea, and there she perched, and the land rose up to meet her. And that is how the land was born. So the idea is that Eagle Mother, lying mostly dead, is actually the progenitor of this world, and the Godslayer decided to kill her. for reasons. It's interesting. Let's look at that. Wait. I want to go up, but... Okay, wait, this is the place where we came up, and I didn't realize there was an up above it. But of course there is. Ooh, not quite. Ooh, I shot myself right off. Apologies. Okay, there we go. So, there's no obvious way to get up here except for this broken tree, but clearly there were people here before. This looks like a guard. Those who wear the spirit mount can commune with the dead. I warn one for the time and the ancient thoughts I heard linger with me still. Perhaps someday after I'm gone, a hunter will commune with me. So, this is confirmed to be kind of the same culture. We have hunters. We have the remnants of armor and a weapon here that we don't necessarily have elsewhere. So, we've got this... It looks almost like a chain shirt, but it's moving like cloth, so not quite sure there. But we've got a helmet with a ridged layered neck, a very sort of samurai style. But then it's got a metal faceplate like a European medieval knight. We've got a round shield, but it's got sort of a cutout on each side like a hoplite shield. So again, with the sort of mixing and matching. Although that could just be from decay. Kind of hard to tell at this angle, but the spaces look deliberate. They look curved. And then the sword is actually broken in pieces in a very unnatural fashion. That is not wear and tear. There's no sign of even rust on that. It almost looks like bone, the way it's broken. It's shattered in pieces. We've got new patterns up here, and new colors. This green is incredibly vibrant. Oh, wait, that's not paint. That's meant to be moss. That's why it's vibrant. Well, that should have been obvious. But these chevron patterns are new, in addition to the X marks and the angular stuff. Then we've got the edges of bird patterns, but not the whole bird. So there had to be some way up here for the guards, but it doesn't appear to be extant anymore. We've got black birds. We had white ones earlier on the shore. We do still need to go and deal with that last tower column. Let's see. What else can we see from here? We've got these eyes hovering in the air. I bet I can navigate around in the air if I were good enough. You can see them all the way up there. Flickering. Okay. At least for now, we don't actually need the extra power or speed for anything. It's just kind of convenient. Okay. Another dead monk, perhaps? It looks like a full-on campsite here. We have these covered pots, presumably some kind of sustenance in these bags, boxes. There's a little cook pot, although no remains of a fire at the present. Came as a pilgrimage to seek guidance from the tall ones. Found all I need in these little aisles. The path is only good so long as you walk it, and now I'm content to sit. Sit and be content. Interesting. I don't really know what that means, the tall ones or anything, but this little pavilion is quite nice and it's very consistent with the architecture we've been seeing. So we need to do something here. Just as simple as pressing a button. And we have to navigate through the air to get to this last column. Given the Eagle Mother some life back, it looks like. But not enough. There's still a core of darkness within her. So, who knows what's next? Is that the witch we already found? No, it's not. There's another place down here. Another beach. There's so much to explore, but I have no idea if there's anything to find. It's beautiful. It's always beautiful, isn't it? I really kind of had hoped for more secrets, but perhaps I'm just not very good at finding them. We should probably head back to the Eagle Mother at this point. Wait, what are these? I haven't seen these before. Well, these are very similar to those columns when we first came in, aren't they? Maybe these were the same kind. They have much more almost Tibetan style toppers with these flags. Oops. Walked into a tree. So, shining a light onto the Eagle Mother. What do we do about it? Oh, we're able to just cure the darkness, apparently. And she no longer looks like a phoenix, but like a hollow-eyed water bird. Or hollow-chested. Maybe she always had that hole in her chest. We have a new area to explore, but I think that's probably a good place to stop for the day. Let me know if you liked this one, if you'd like to see more of it. I am planning next week to start with Hades 2, but I am always open to hearing what y'all like. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you had fun. And as always, keep learning, friends.